So I don't know if you've noticed, but Today we're going to talk about why all your favorite musical artists seem to have embraced NFTs, a thing the rest of us seem to understand for the most part and accept is bad. Musical artists who get paid based on royalties, streaming, and residuals for production or vocal credits on a track have, by a different name, been distributing what you could call NFTs for ages. NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, refer exclusively to images at this point. Maybe they are GIFs, maybe they are JPEGs, maybe they suck, but no matter what the variety, they are pictures. Theoretically, and I cannot stress this enough, theoretically single, exclusive versions of images verified by the blockchain or on the blockchain, doesn't matter. And where some of the friction in this space has come from is people thinking charging for what amounts to exclusive usage/ownership rights for lion JPEGs is stupid, and I'm not going to disagree with any of that. I'm here today to talk about how and why NFTs have fit so easily into the music space and draw some comparisons between the way music and NFTs are monetized and controlled online. There are going to be smarter people than I who say that this is a bad comparison, and there is merit to the argument that NFTs are sold, monetized, marketed, and distributed different enough from music and the merchandise where the comparison is not perfect. But there are, shall we say, specific examples that I think are applicable. Now you're probably thinking, even some of those slides you just showed me were about music as NFTs, so clearly it's not just images, and to that I would say, read the fine print. Most of these music NFTs are either single tracks sold on the blockchain, or in some cases a reissuance of an album via the blockchain. And even if you buy an NFT of one of these songs, you can't post it online and share it to accrue residuals or have real legal ownership of it. It's still legally owned online by the labels and the artists, and it's going to get recognized as such by the algorithms. The only thing I've seen that makes any real sense to me is where EDM star Blau essentially sold usage rights to his songs as NFTs, which allocates a portion of streaming service revenue to the NFT owner. This is, if nothing else, the most plausible reason for NFTs to exist in this space from my perspective. As the article in the Rolling Stone says, it's effectively a method of allowing users to treat songs like stocks, but as it currently stands, only some of the major NFT marketplaces is set up to do this at all. And for the record, while it's clear that Blau made a solid haul off the sale of those 333 NFTs, what we don't know is whether or not this has become any kind of actual investment for any of those buyers. They are getting a 333rd split of a 50% cut. This song would have to be a viral smash hit for anyone to be collecting serious money off of it with those margins. For the record, that's a 0.15 or about 1/6 of 1% in terms of ownership. Spotify takes 229 plays to earn $1, so that's 152,514 plays before each one of those NFT owners has made back one single dollar. Blau's music does pretty well, and it's not impossible the song makes its money back for those 333 fans, but this isn't one of his more popular songs, and the YouTube stats don't paint the picture of the mega hit that would need to be necessary for this to accrue real money. On the other hand, that 50% piece of the pie in the initial sale is absolutely a good deal for Blau. Get that bag. However, much like pretty much everything else NFT related, you can do all of these things already with services like TuneCore or BeatStars. You don't have to verify with the blockchain. At this stage of the industry, that seems more like a buzzwordy, futurist marketing angle than any tangible benefit to the fans. But let's talk about how music is monetized for a second. Producers are using third-party services like Sound Exchange, ASCAP, Repost Network, and managerial agencies to collect our money for us. When music gets used online, there are automated recognition algorithms that identify your song and pay you a cut, or at the very least identify credit, so it's difficult for people to use your music without giving you some kind of return or acknowledgement for it. So when people are finding your music with Shazam or listening on Spotify, liking tracks, playlisting songs, sharing tunes, all of this is pretty well captured by the digital services we already have today. You could say that comparatively speaking, music has a well-regulated marketplace compared to the guerrilla warfare, fraud-ridden marketplace that are NFTs and cryptocurrency. But hey, I'm poor. Don't listen to me. Music is primarily distributed as waves and MP3s, either streamed, played, or downloaded, and I don't functionally see a great deal of distinction between selling an NFT, a single digital copy of an image, and selling the usage rights to a song, functionally an MP3 and the individual rights, or some fraction of them in any case, to the instrumental, vocal, and lyrics. The major difference, from my perspective, is how much more advanced, or perhaps better term is capitalized, the music industry is about extracting value from streams and plays in every form they take. Algorithms control what gets monetized across the internet, internet, and good distributors will be effective about recognizing music. I don't think it's frequently understood that for most artists of note, the big names that are people's favorites, the music itself, the album, is a loss leader. The cash cow, the engine that really drives the music industry, is the merch. Hats, t-shirts, bags, swag, vinyl, stickers, and to a greatly diminished degree, CDs. Physical merchandise are the lifeblood of the music industry on many levels. Yes, concert tickets are the second hand of that shake, but until they start doing NFT concerts, I won't know how to make that comparison, and it sounds totally insane, so oh shit, what the This is a response to the Folding Ideas video, which I think is incredible, and one of many NFT-related videos by notable YouTube creators that I think does a good job of explaining the situation to varying degrees of detail. That being said, I feel like I had a tiny note to add on the side of this discussion, an ad-lib, a remix, if you will. One of the reasons that I think NFTs have achieved a greater adoption by not just musical artists, but by the mainstream at large over the past few years is because they represent a logical extension of activities these parties have already been engaged in. NFTs are about creating artificial scarcity by design and have been overtaken largely by bad actors. Do you guys remember when that criminal who ran the pharmaceutical company bought the single edition of the new Wu-Tang album?
No! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
Dan proposed two futures, one where NFTs persist and another where they burn out. I'm essentially arguing we have passed some kind of tipping point and they're here to stay. I'm not telling you to invest in NFTs or crypto. I'm not in the business of telling people what to invest in, period. Which I feel like, on some level, makes me genuinely more credible. But you can decide if I'm an idiot for yourself. While I was writing this script, I came across this article and goddamn. There it is. And the crazy thing is that the draconian arm of the music industry is just regulated enough where I feel like this, on a semi-practical level that won't take decades, could exist. Is this going to be the baseline for rights distribution next year? No, but I mean, by 2030 doesn't sound like the craziest thing in the world to me, at least for artists of the schmafia caliber, and I can honestly see the blockchain being rolled into existing sound exchange type services, even just as a marketing/branding thing, not even because it offers any real value or security. But here's the thing, all of the suspicions I have about this working out really only apply to music in terms of the blockchain. NFTs are more or less just a piece of digital brand merch. And again, all of this is just another form of things that we already have. Services like EDM Warriors offer ghost production, Epidemic Sound is a subscription service for royalty-free music, and of course you can buy, lease, and sell beats through BeatStars, or to a lesser degree, the red-headed stepchild of the online music world, Bandcamp. The marketplace aspect of these services is fundamentally what the blockchain could conceivably replace. But there it is. There isn't a solution to a problem. Nobody working in music right now, extracting value from streams, sales, or merchandise, needs the blockchain to pull this off. So it becomes a question of adoption. Does the music industry want the blockchain? And this is where the divide comes in. In terms of pricing, Dan says the blockchain costs about $20 per transaction. Though obviously it fluctuates and the inherent instability in that price point is part of the issue at hand. But I compare that to the cost of hosting my own music on a service like TuneCore, which cost me $10 a year to host a single song on major streaming services. This is not a perfect comparison, but it's a very rough starting point in terms of adoption. One thing has a variable price of $20 and another is pretty much a flat 10. The blockchain is currently too expensive to be competitive for artists who are not already self-sustaining, and that may change over time, even soon, but it's fundamentally the case today. An artist of my size, I can't see myself using the blockchain to any specific benefit other than it being a marketing or selling point. Anthony Fantano touched on the subject with his article in the Washington Post, and I agree with what he said and how he said it, and the fact that I don't really have any genuine issue with small artists making a come up off of NFTs. So I am skeptical that that is quite as real of a scenario as the hype would have you believe. So look, if you're a music artist and you want to sell JPEGs next to shirts and vinyls on your merch site, that's fine. But both the fans buying the NFTs and the artists selling them need to be honest about the fact that they are unlikely to accrue real value over time. It certainly can't be guaranteed. These are swag, merch, they're not financial instruments, and that's the problem. Without the pitch that these things are resellable at a later date for an increased return, they feel much less interesting. Like, Charlie is a queen, but is it fair to expect exclusive JPEGs from her merch collection to double in value over the next 10 years? Probably not. And yes, I understand that limited merch can become an investment that gets sold between fans. Like, Beatles merch is basically priceless if it's genuine. But up until this point, those items, objects, pieces of merchandise, or memorabilia have been tangible, real-world things. Concert tickets, shirts, vinyls, wearables, things haven't gone out of style. Even with the internet having completely absorbed our reality in frightening ways, I'm just not sold on literal JPEGs, digital digital images of music brands, a fucking M&M monkey being all that desirable to collectors in the future. If there's any place where I'm wrong, it's going to be here, because I'm 32 and I'll be 33 this year, and it's possible that there is just a disconnect for me, and kids today will be perfectly comfortable flashing their NFTs from their iPhone 25 someday, as I am showing off my Porter Robinson Worlds vinyl today. But the difference is, I didn't buy a copy of Worlds on vinyl so I could resell it 10 years down the road and fund my retirement, or buy a new car, or send a kid to college, or whatever it is you want to do with this money. I bought it because it's cool, a physical rendition of a mostly digital, live event-centric brand that I really connect with. It was also 30 regular bucks, not 300,000 Ethereum. God help us all. I guess I have nothing else to say. If I had to sum it up, I'd say this: treat NFTs the same way you would any regular, sold off the rack, limited release brand merchandise. Enjoy it, treasure it, have fun with it if you can afford it, but don't be investing in it as a mindset. And for artists, don't be tricking people into thinking they bought a legitimate financial instrument when we both know it's swag. There's nothing wrong with swag. I like swag. Everybody likes swag, but we should call it what it is.